kind of reminds me of the story of the old man that was fishing in the lake. And there was an old man fishing in the lake, and he was catching big fish and little fish and big fish and little fish. And there was a little boy off of the shore watching the man fish. Every time he caught that big fish, he would throw the big fish back. Every time he caught that little fish, he put that little fish on ice in his cooler. So this man's doing this for hours. He's catching big fish and little fish and big fish and little fish. So after a few hours, the storms begin to come in. So he brings the boat back in and begins to walk home. And the little boy runs up to the man and says, "Sir, hold on. You can't go home yet. I've been watching you for hours. You were catching big fish and big fish and every time you caught that big fish, you throw that big fish. And every time you caught that little bitty fish, you put that little fish on ice in your... I don't understand why you did that." He reached into his book bag. He said, "Son, I hate the fact that every time I caught that big fish, I had to throw that big fish back. But you see, back at home, I only have a little itty bitty frying pan." And before you laugh too hard, many of us can't seize our potential because we throw back big opportunities. We throw back big doors. And we hold on to the little things, y'all. Come on, somebody. The small stuff that fits in our frying pan. The little stuff that fits in our comfort zone, the little stuff that fits in our background, the little stuff that fits in our pedigree, the little stuff that fits with our bank account, the little stuff that fits with the people that we grew up in and around. And we don't understand that there's big, mega opportunities out there that we're supposed to be taking full advantage of if we would just be willing to seize our potential and take our lives to the next level. I learned a whole lot about potential from my parents. My mom raised me and my older brother, Michael, as a single parent. She struggled every day, all the time to make ends meet. I love my mom. She was my first mentor. She was my first coach. My mother was a Sunday school teacher. She was an English teacher. If you were going to be Olivia's kid, you had to be able to talk. So from the time I was in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, I got the longest parts in the Easter play. In the Christmas play, I had to play Jesus, Moses, Abraham, Isaac. All of my friends got little stuff. Jesus wept. I got 5 pages of lines I had to memorize. And it was frustrating, but my mom would sit on the 2nd, 3rd row of church and she'd say, "I can't hear you. Project more. Use your hands." My dad helped me realize my potential because my father's been in a wheelchair longer than I've been alive. And I know what it's like to go through the biggest pain of all. For my mentor, my coach, my mom, who raised me way more than a parent, a mentor, a coach, a friend, and advisor, to pass away on April 30th, 2013, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Heart failure. We were caregiving for my mom every single day. We decided to go home and change clothes, me and my older brother, Michael. And by the time we got back home and changed clothes, we got a call from the hospital that said, "You better come back." By the time we got back to the hospital, she was already gone. We didn't get a chance to say goodbye. People say that time heals. I believe that time helps, but you have to learn to live with that loss. Anybody in this room ever lost a loved one? One of the greatest lessons that I learned about overcoming pain is to shift to gratitude. So I began to start writing in a gratitude journal every single day. My mom's favorite expression was, "I'm blessed." So every morning I write in a gratitude journal and I write things that I'm grateful for, and I make a list of all the amazing things that I have to be grateful for in my life. My mentor taught me in college, he said, "Listen, the bottom line of results, anything else is rhetoric. Begin to focus on pursuing your passion." My friends, I want you to understand something. Here's what I learned and realized. People are gonna sum up your life with one word. You know what that one word is? Your primary passion. If I say Henry Ford, you say the automobile. Come on, somebody. If I say Oprah Winfrey, you say television. Does that make sense? Every single one of us have a powerful passion. Slow down the word. Pass I on. How do you pass yourself on to someone else? How do you learn how to be like a stamp and stick to one thing until it delivers? One of the biggest lessons that I learned and one of the biggest things that I've realized that stops people from living their passion is the fact that we have inner voices in our head that stop us from going after the things we want. And we don't understand that there's big, mega opportunities out there that we're supposed to be taking full advantage of if we would just be willing to seize our potential and take our lives to the next level. The next time those voices come in your head and tell you what you're not good enough to do, you're not smart enough, you're not fast enough, you're not tall enough, you're not gifted enough, you're not connected enough, you're not networked enough. Celebrate your uniqueness. Fall in love with you. Appreciate you. When you try to be like anybody else, the best you can be is second place. Understand how unique you are, because if 2 of us are the same, 1 of us is unnecessary. My friend, be you.